Cool. So this week on the podcast, we've got the boys from Eternal, Cam and Ben. Boys, how are we?
Yeah, I'm
good.
good.
So I think first things first, how's isolation life treating you both?
Ben, you want to go first?
Yeah, well, it's tricky for me, being honest. I've gone from, having 2 gyms and a fight promotion to look after, as well as I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old child, and a wife. So it's gone from 90 hours work a week plus to being a house husband and having no business or income. So it's a special time. I love it.
It sounds challenging. How's everything going with the gyms? Have you guys sorted around memberships or anything like that, or are they all good down?
Yeah, well, it was going to be great. I mean, fortunately, Scrappy MMA, which is my sort of first gym, it's been going for 8 or nearly 9 years. So we have a strong community there and a strong membership base. And most of the members are keen to carry on paying to support the gym. We're running online classes for them. However, our direct debit company pulled the pin and said it's illegal to charge them for a service that they haven't signed up for.
Oh, really?
Or if you're not. Yeah, so unfortunately, I'm down to 0 members, 0 income, which made it a little bit more difficult than it would have been otherwise. But luckily, that gym's quite liquid, so it's okay for now. If it goes on too much longer, then we could start to have problems. I've got a really good landlord there, and he immediately throws the rent, no questions asked. He's like, 3 months. I'll give you 3 months. So,
hey, that's weird. The gym that I'm through, we're still able to, I'm still paying full for mine, and they're still able to take the direct debits and stuff. So it might just be the company. That's a bit weird.
Yeah, they. Well, I've got someone on the case having a look at it now legally, and if they've done wrong by me, then hopefully I'll be compensated for that. But it is what it is. It's one of them situations, and I'm very much what can I do to get through it sort of person. I'm not going to sit and wallow about it, although it pisses me off. But I've just got to get on with it and try and make sure that I keep the community together and we're ready to go when the time comes. So,
yeah, well, mate, hopefully it's not too much longer. I know over in New South Wales and Queensland, I think just started relaxing a couple of laws and stuff like that. So fingers crossed.
Yeah,
it'll be better.
WA is pretty good. I mean, we've had 4 cases in the last week. I think we're down to only 47 active cases in the state. So they have relaxed things a little bit, and we can do small group training. I've got a big car park out the front of the gym, so looking at implementing a new timetable next week and trying to get some of the faces back.
Yeah, nice. I hope it gets up pretty quick for you. Cam, how's everything going in your side of the woods?
Well, as you can see, I'm up in tropical North Queensland at the moment, sitting next to the pool, 30 degrees weather, and 80% humidity. So isolation for me feels like a holiday, but it's far, far from it. All we really want to do is get back to work. I was never too much of a social person anyway. So I've always kind of self-isolated myself.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, sometimes voluntarily and other times not. But, look, I'm just desperate to get back and about it. Next week, we were meant to be having our first amateur Grand Prix, which would have been at the fitness show over 2 days in Sydney, which was going to be a bit of a landmark event for us. We were going to actually start crowning some amateur champions, and that's obviously been put in the back burner. So that's been a huge disruption to our plans already for 2020. We're lucky enough that we kicked off with 3 events at the start of this year. So, we've got more runs on the board than anyone else at the moment. None of our full Eternal shows, the amateur show at the fitness show was a development series. Yeah. None of our Eternal numbered shows have been upset yet. We do think we are going to have to push back, obviously, our June card. It'll get pushed back towards the end of the year, but we're hoping the rest of our calendar stays the same. As for isolation and lockdown, it's just frustrating. It's try and do the right thing, try and make the most of it. But I'm not in the same position as Ben at the moment. I'm not in a position where I rely upon groups of people being in one place at the one time, much like gyms, pubs, restaurants, things like that. You really, really feel for people like that at this time. But no, look, I'm doing it tough, but I'm not doing it nearly as tough as 90% of other people.
Yeah, man, it's a crazy world out there at the moment. It's a weird kind of thing to live in. I don't think we'll get this in our generation, but let's hope it goes over soon and we get back to normal. So with the June card, I know I'm going to cut DL off because he's got a question, but that was the UFC, just before the UFC in Perth, yeah?
That's correct. It's not officially been postponed yet. Ben's probably the best one to speak on that card because obviously he's based in Western Australia and takes, whereas we're 50-50 in every card that we put together in the events that we do. Ben obviously oversees the Perth and Western Australian events a lot more than what I do. We haven't made an official statement on it yet, but I think everybody could take a guess that the card isn't going to go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm sure we'll get into that in the potty. Dale, over to you.
Yeah, well, I know we are here to talk about Eternal, but I know ourselves and our listeners would love to get a little bit of background on both you guys. And I just want to kick it off. You guys are both on the opposite side of the country. Does that make a challenging environment sometimes for a business stand? And on top of that, like, where did that relationship start from? I'll start with you, Cam.
With me or Ben, sorry?
Yeah. Kick us off.
You've got to pay attention, mate. You never pay attention. Pay attention.
Ben, do you want to go?
All right. So, all right. I've got to remember the question now. Other sides of the country, it's not a big deal. Like, technology is, we can do this.
Yeah.
So, my wife jokes that Cam is my work wife, and we speak more than I probably speak to her. We're on the phone all the time. We were anyway. With his situation now, he's unavailable 9 to 5. So it's not as much, but there's not much going on. So we're quite fortunate in that regard at the moment. But no, we just communicate. Like with my job, I'm flexible. I'm free at most hours during the day if I'm not teaching or, in meetings or whatever. So no, I don't think the distance really, and it's good to have both sides of the country covered so that when we go to states, like when Cam comes to Perth, for him, it's like being home because I've got a full network of people here and he's been coming over here for 5 years. So he knows everyone here. And same when I go to the Gold Coast and when we travel interstate, we obviously have good networks of people in most places where we go now. So I don't think the distance, I used to promote or work with promotions in the UK and it was so much easier. You just jump in your car and you drive to wherever you need to drive to. So promoting shows in a country this large definitely has its own challenges and expenses with flights and how we all know how expensive interstate flights are, etc. So that's probably the biggest challenge of the distance. But no, I think we've got it pretty locked down. And then the first part, the second part was how did this all come about? Well, funnily enough, I just fired up my Twitter. I'd had it off for years. I hadn't been on Twitter at all. And I got rid of Facebook when COVID started because it was just everyone was an expert and everyone was a doomsday and everyone had a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So it was doing my head in. So I just got rid of it and went on Twitter instead because it's a bit more varied.
Yep.
And I was looking back through the messages and I had a message from Cam, and that is initially how we first got talking because I think there was a fighter in my gym he wanted to put on one of his shows. I'd only just moved over. And we just sort of like, it sounds a bit like a dating show, but we just sort of hit it off.
Long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Congratulations, boys.
The Twitter relationship sort of really fired things up for Cam and I. And he got me across to the first ever Eternal with a fighter. And we just sort of never really looked back from there.
Yeah, cool. So with the, I guess the first event, Cam, how did that come about? Like, I think it was back in 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, 2012 was the first Eternal. Before I'd done Eternal, I'd been a partner in another organisation called Days of Glory MMA, which we ran 3 events in the Gold Coast between 2010 and 2012. Through a couple of personal differences, nothing major. Just differing opinions and certain ways that the show should run. that we both decided to go separate ways, and I started up Eternal on my own off the back of that. So basically that was how Eternal came about. You know, it was my own show.
Yeah, cool. And what was it kind of like you obviously would have had contacts already with doing the previous promotion. So was it much hassle to get Eternal up and running, or was there any challenges to get it going to start with?
It's always challenging to get any promotion running, and to get, especially when you start out with a new name and, you know, it's a new show. And yeah, okay, I had some runs in the board for the last couple of years, and I've been round about gyms training in Australia since 2005. So, you know, I did have a decent network, you know, for 5 or 6 years going into it. But you know, there's always challenges. Back in 2012, there was a lot more events as well. There was an event running maybe every 3 or 4 weeks. And we're all scrambling for the same commodity and for the same fighters to use on the shows. And of course, the only way that shows work, especially back then, was through ticket sales. And you know, it was a difficult job back then. You know, it really was. You were just trying to balance out obviously your costs against the locality of the fighters, how many tickets they were going to sell, but you had 3 or 4 other promotions that were local to you as well, that were also fighting over their fighters as well.
Yeah, cool. So with that first event, was it, you know, did you herald it as a success, or was there some challenges after the fact with it, or did it go off without a hitch?
Well, still here 8 years later.
Touche.
Yeah, so it's got to be a success. Looking at the show as a standalone show, it was a success, and probably critically, but it was not a success financially.
Yeah.
It did make me question it, the whole idea of doing it for a few weeks.
We're still questioning it to this day.
It's just the dollar figure keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it made me question it a little bit. But another promoter once says to me, it's like an addiction. You know, a guy that I know that's he must ran over 300 events now across a couple of combat sports and some other sports. And he says to me right back when I was starting at 2010, 2011, he says to me, you know, it's like an addiction. You know, it doesn't matter how your show goes financially for you. You know, once you like doing shows, you just keep doing them. And I've got to agree with him.
Well, I think you become so invested as well, don't you? You become so invested in it, and you spend so much time and effort and energy. I can't imagine like giving it away, because I've put so much into it. Like, it's taken X amount of years of my life, like literally, you know, morning till night working. We're too far down the rabbit hole to come out. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't see how it would end. Like, unless all the money disappears, you know.
COVID stays on for another year.
Yeah, well,
We've also we've got goals that we want to achieve as well. You know, we're not just trundling from show to show. There is a strategy. There is short, medium, and long-term goals that we are looking to achieve in all aspects of the show, in all aspects of the level of production and where we go and how often we promote and things like that as well. So, you know, we are looking much further ahead now than what we were before. Probably even 3 years ago, we were still looking show to show. And then it moved on. We were doing that many shows, then we're looking at doing 8, 9, 10 in a calendar year, even 3 years ago. And it was turning into, we couldn't even look at shows on a show-to-show basis. We're having to look at things in a financial year's perspective, because everything was just running on top of each other.
Yeah.
You know, everything apart from the actual results and the position of the fighters and our internal rankings, you know, in terms of how they were positioning themselves for title fights and turning from amateur to pro, etc. Everything apart from that was just running into each other, and we could no longer really separate things into a show-by-show basis.
Yeah, cool.
Back in 2012, Cam, what did you take away from the previous promotion, and then you thought, you know what, I can do something different here, and I'm going to set these goals at a different standard that I can move the promotion forward with Eternal? Was there certain things that you picked up that just went, yeah, I can do way better than that next time?
Yeah, there was one thing that I was certain I was going to do when I started it. When I done everything, when I come up with the name, when I come up with the branding, the way that I wanted the posters to look, when I was thinking about everything to do with the show, I said I'm never having another business partner again. That was the one thing. That was the one thing
Twitter romance comes in.
That was the one thing that I said. And then less than 3 years later, I would spend months begging Ben Vickers to have a show in Western Australia and be a business partner of mine. So, and it wasn't just somebody to share the burden. You know, it was like Ben said at the start. You know, we both hit it off. We both had the same perspective on the sport and the way that it should be getting promoted and the way that events should be getting run in Australia. That we brought over from the UK, obviously, with us, that we didn't seem to see happening consistently here. I'm not saying nobody was doing it, but there was a lot of people coming and going and coming. There was no consistency, and we were wanting to do that. We were wanting to have some sort of legitimacy to titles and some sort of consistency of events and method of people getting into certain positions to challenge for titles and things like that, etc. So there was a value to people who were champions of Eternal.
Yeah.
We actually come from very, very similar backgrounds in the sport. So we both came up through the UK MMA scene and following the same sort of shows around and stuff like that. And we both have a very similar vision of what we believe MMA and MMA promotion and development of fighters should be. And we're both fought, like we've both competed in the sport. I'm a coach. I have a stable of fighters myself. So I understand, and we both understand the fighter aspect. Like I'm knee deep in MMA every day.
Yeah.
Like, and so is Cam, even when he's working 9 to 5, like he'd sit up till 2, 3. There is no man in MMA that works harder than Cam. He used to work from 7 in the morning till 7 at night and then sit up till 3 in the morning doing Eternal stuff because I'd be talking to him here at 1 in the morning.
Oh.
You know, it's just, he's the hardest working man in Australian MMA for me, for my money. And I find that inspirational. And I've always fed off that. I'm lucky I get dead time in the day in between classes and training fighters and stuff like that to do my work. And I can get home and for the most part, go about my family life, although it's late when I get home. So yeah, we just hit a synergy and saw the direction. I never wanted to promote. I was a reluctant promoter. I'd worked on Cage Warriors in the UK before, and I know what a big commitment and what a big animal a fight show is. Especially, I'm not in this to be a fight show. I'm in this to be the fight show. Like if we're fucking fanning around at the bottom of the pack, I'm not interested. I'm either the best or I'm not doing it. Yeah, or at least that's where I want to get to. You know.
Oh, mate, in Australia at the moment, you know, from a fan's perspective, from the outside, Eternal's kind of the premier kind of promotion. If you look at the production values, especially that you boys are putting out lately, and then the level of fights in the last couple of years that have come out. I mean, like this year we had like 3 cards basically back to back to start the year, and you guys were flying. Put them
we
on.
Love fights. Yeah. Like it's a dream for me to be able to put. I love MMA and I love watching good fights. Why would I match a shit fight? Why would I match an uneven fight? I don't want to see that. So why would I know that Joe Bloggs in the crowd doesn't want to see that? So for me, if I can put them fights on and I can sit there and I can go, that was fucking amazing. Like as a fan, I sit there, I've got the best seat in the house. Sometimes I pay a shitload of money for it, but I have the best seat in the house to watch this shit that we created, you know. It's pretty special, you know, when it all goes off and the stress and it's actually the first bell's gone and the first fight's happening and you get to not relax but actually sit there and take it in. That's why we do it, for me anyway.
The level we get into a tremendous level of detail that probably nobody appreciates and probably nobody ever has to appreciate, but it's just how nerdy we can actually get about the way that we want certain things done and we want certain things to look. And although a lot of that is just being OCD, but you know, there's little things you'll be able to pick up all the time that are repeated all the time, and little things that we try and add, like the branding and the shorts. You know, these latest shorts that we've got just now, the Engage ones that I think Ben I think you designed them, did you not?
Design.
I mean, they're absolutely fantastic shorts, you know, and just the way that they're colour coordinated, you know, for each corner, make sure each person's got them, and you know, it's just tiny little things. And everything that we do, the speed at which results walk on. I mean, we've got people walking out to the cage, and as they're walking out to the cage, before the fight started, we've already got it all across social media, their walkout photo, like completely framed with a link to watch it live, no matter where it is, whether it's on YouTube, free, whether it's on UFC Fight Pass, or whether it's on pay-per-view. There's every single minute of every single show we've sat down and scripted how it wants to go. Even when it goes wrong, we've not scripted it to go wrong, but it's something that is our fault ultimately. We've wanted it to look like that. And as Ben, we've not wanted it to look like that, sorry, it's turned out like that, but we had a different vision. But as Ben says, we're only doing that to try and be not just the best, but the very best that we can be. Even if we're already the best, who gives a fuck? We just want to be as better as we can be. Just keep improving every single show.
This is 100% not about other fight promotions to me. I couldn't care less what they're doing, and I wish them all well. Apart from one, but I won't tell you that. But
hey, we'll cut it out for now. I'm joking. Go on.
I don't give a fuck. He knows who he is anyway. But I wish them all well. I do. I know how hard it is, and I know what goes into it. So I respect everyone for doing that. But this isn't about them. This is about us, and this is about us being the best that we can be. And I think we made a call a couple of years ago. I had a difficult conversation with Cam, and I said, look, this is now becomes 100% focused on us. We don't give a fuck what anyone else is doing. We don't talk about what anyone else is doing. We just do Eternal. And if we focus on Eternal, everything will be fine. And if we're confident in our own brand, why do we need to talk about anyone else's? So let's just drive Eternal to the next level, focus all our energy on that, and fuck what everyone else is doing.
And that's how we are so critical of ourselves in our own show. We look at everything, and no matter how well it's gone, we say we want to do better.
After the New Zealand show, we were really excited because it was amazing. Like the place was sold out, the fights were good, it was packed. And we got back to the Airbnb, we were like, right, we can jump on UFC Fight Pass and watch the show. And we sat there miserable for 3 hours because we hated the production. I was like, this is so shit. Oh, what have we done it? And we hated it. We hated the show.
What part of the production did you guys, what was like some of the things with the production and stuff that you guys were filthy at?
I thought I was on a boat.
You would probably.
It was like this.
Hey, too many bourbons at the show, maybe.
Yeah. It was just little things like some of the shots they were taking showed a lot of like stuff that you shouldn't see, and they were cutting the feet off probably things people would never notice if I never opened my big mouth. And now people go and watch it and go, oh yeah, that is shit. But I got so angry.
There. Same cameraman as in New Zealand.
The TV cameraman there.
He's throwing punches.
I've got my daughter holding the phone like that. Don't worry.
Do you boys have much control over the cameramen and stuff like that, considering when it's on Fight Pass and stuff like that, or is that all?
Look, we organise and we contract all the production companies, and going back to what Ben was saying there, we were sitting in the couch at the sofa, miserable watching this, and my phone wouldn't stop going with people telling us how great it was. And that's what it's like. We're sitting saying how shit it was, and our phone was going constantly with people back in Australia that were telling us, great event, looked fantastic, this, that, and the next thing. But we were hypercritical of it. And I think the both of us are still hypercritical of it. And, the level...
I hate it. I've never watched it. I won't watch it again.
No, I haven't either. Won't watch it again. The level of production in that show was so much lower than the two shows after it.
And the two shows previous, which is crap because you're supposed to improve. You're not supposed to go backwards, so.
But New Zealand's a story in itself. We learned a lesson there about going. We learned a lesson there about. Funny thing about New Zealand was so we held a show in Sky City in New Zealand, which is obviously one of the best venues in Auckland that we could get. We put on a very ambitious fight card. We spent a lot of money promoting the show. We were on the same weekend as the UFC, where, the ticket prices, if you were going to both shows, was going to really put a strain on Auckland locals simply because of the cost of living in Auckland and the wages. And I'd never ever set foot in fucking New Zealand until the Tuesday before the show. I couldn't even tell you what the weather was going to be like.
I'd been there in 2003, so I had a bit of knowledge, but I was in Wellington, not Auckland. So
Down the bottom.
So I don't know if that's. I don't know if
Not smart.
if that was foolishness or if it was ego or if we just were a little bit naive. But look, the fights were all the fights were good. The only thing we got pants pulled down with was production.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think the last card, 52, like we watched that live and it went like from our viewing pleasure, it looked like it went off without a hitch. So
yeah, 52, 51 and 52 were both phenomenal. Phenomenal event. The fights on both the cards were absolutely fantastic as well.
Yeah. We love the pace of the event too. The pace is great. The fighters are out there, they're ready to go, and it just seems to turn really nicely from a visual side of things. You're into the fighters are walking out to the cage, they're in there, they're getting the fights on. It's fantastic production, boys.
I actually can't stand auctions. Like,
yeah,
I've been watching events on a stream that I've paid money for, and I'm listening to some wanker trying to sell a fucking NRL shirt. And it's like, no one wants it. Fuck off, and let's have. And it's already 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
you know, we need some continuity. I'll switch it off. Like, and I love MMA, but I don't want to be. And that it's 11 o'clock at night for me, and I'm in Perth. Like, it's 1 a.m. in wherever the show's happening. So we always said this is about fights, and the only time that we're not getting money over the bar, that's not our business model. Like, our business model is to provide entertainment, so we provide great fights with a good pace, so that you can get into the night and you can get about your business. So you don't want to, if you want to kick on and have a good night out afterwards and make it a night, you can. You know, we don't want to monopolize your whole night. You know, you might only be there to watch one person in particular, and then if the pace is good, you're going to stay. If it starts to stagnate, then you're going to leave. So auctions are banned. If we ever do an auction, I will not be a part of Eternal anymore.
We won't ever do an auction. Don't worry about that.
Look, Cam's freaking out over there, mate. He's still trying to keep you in the partnership, and he's throwing threats at him.
I'm never doing one. Never.
He's going to sell his sweaty underpants to all the fat birds in the crowd.
You guys mentioned UFC Fight Pass. How important was that to get a part of your promotion?
No, look, that was definitely a goal that we already had before that we got it, and we had been building slowly towards it. We did have a longer lead time that we were aiming towards getting it. We were looking to maybe be pushing for it this year, but we heard towards the mid. There was a couple of other things went on, and I'm not going to get into them at all unless Ben does. They went on at the start of last year and at the end of the year before, where it could have been a possibility, and then it fizzled out. And then we decided, we had a rumour round about the middle of the year, and I reached out to them, and me and Ben had a chat, and then went back to them again, and we were lucky enough to secure that contract.
Yeah, that's excellent. Do you feel the pressure with so many countries having access to UFC Fight Pass? And I think at the moment, Australian New Zealand MMA is really on a global scale at the moment. We've got champions, we've got plenty of engaged is everywhere you look at a fight these days now. So like that brand locally is blowing up internationally. Do you guys feel that pressure when you're putting an event on?
Nah, I've never thought about it until you mentioned it. Yeah.
Sorry, bro. Daniel, come on, mate. Fuck me.
He's ruined it. He's ruined it. Now,
Benny's out. Cam's sweating because Ben's out now. Because you that?
Yeah, I'm out. No, I never. We don't have time to think about that. Do you know what I mean? It's like we are literally two blokes. He has another job. I have another job, and we run this company by ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we are now lucky enough to have one other person that helps us on an event by event basis, and she's brilliant. She's worth her weight in gold, Jasmine. And but that is the team. You know, we've got. We took on this year. We made a commitment, and we took Emperor Creative on to do our marketing and social media. So you'll notice that it's a lot cleaner and it's a lot more what's the word, consistent this time around. But other than that, like we do everything. We put the cage up still. I fucking hate cages. We put the cage up.
Ed never takes it down. He always gets the early flight out of there.
I've got to get home to the kids. Right. But yeah, we literally do everything. You know, we set everything up. We put chairs out. We Quite often, half an hour before a show, we're running around with no tops on, sweating our tits off, like putting numbers on seats, and there's nothing we don't do. There's no role. I think the only role I haven't done on a show is ring girl and referee. I've done everything else.
Couple to tick off, mate.
So yeah, we don't have time. Yeah, I think the ring girl, like my isolation body would not accommodate ring girl. But yeah, we don't have time. We don't have time to worry. All we can worry about is producing the best product we can produce. And if people like it, great. If they don't, we'll soon find out because we'll get cut.
Yeah.
And we've done something wrong.
No, and exactly. That's not a pressure. That's a, if you look at things like that as a pressure, you're doing the wrong, you're doing the wrong thing. All of a sudden we've got the platform that we've been looking for to be able to showcase the fighters that we believe in, that we think as Bennett said earlier on, we think we're putting on the best fights that we possibly could put on. So why would we want to limit the audience that can see their fights? Why would we want to limit the personal exposure that each of the fighters could have? And it's not about patting ourselves in the back at all. It's not about that. It's just about us satisfying ourselves that we are doing the best that we can do because we genuinely love this sport.
Yeah, well, you guys got a fair few up and coming fighters that are being earmarked to go to the UFC very soon. Is there anyone kind of on your radar that's ready to go?
We've for a couple of years now we've been very I don't know.
Just spit it out, old boy. Don't worry about being diplomatic. Just spit it out.
We've got a few fighters coming through just now that think that should have been there already.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. But we're now starting to hear the rumblings back that these people are on the radar. And I think if it wasn't for the pandemic disruption, that a couple of them could have been getting snapped up, and you probably might have seen at least one, maybe two of them in Perth in June, possibly. But I definitely think that we're starting to put together a nice pipeline of talent coming through. And I don't mean ones who are just currently pros at the moment. I think we've got a few amateurs that we could be looking 3 to 5 years down the track that if they stick at it, they could definitely be going there as well.
Any of our champions now could go into the UFC and win fights.
Yeah.
I believe.
What's the feeling for you boys if you do get a fighter in there? Like, is it a sense of pride in terms of they come through internal and made their way into the UFC, or?
Yeah, because we haven't really had that yet. I think the thing with the UFC is they kind of, for a while, they had a place where they were going to go to look for UFC fighters.
Yeah.
And we weren't that place, truth be told. I think that's the only way to dress it up, really. But I think we are that place now. I think with our alignment with them and the fact that we do these shows the day before their shows, it means guys are in training camp for the same day. Yeah. So they're ready to go. They're fit and they're basically training for the same weekend. So should anything happen, they're well placed to do that. The matchmakers come to the events when we do them together. So Sean Shelby was in New Zealand.
Mick Maynard was in Melbourne.
Yeah, Mick was in Melbourne. So these guys are getting a platform that is essentially an audition. The person that they need to impress is right in front of them. So I believe that we are the place now where the talent will come from. I think it's our turn to do that, and we've earned that position. And I think that you'll be seeing, obviously this is going to slow everything down. The UFC has a huge roster of fighters that they need to find fights for now. So barring sort of pullouts and short notice stuff, I don't think anyone's getting signed this year.
Oh, even the travel bans, I guess, are going to...
Yeah, well, that's how a lot of people were getting contracts, was off the back of localised pullouts within the region that they were living in. But obviously, the travel bans, as you say, is probably going to slow that down as well.
Yeah, cool. So you boys touched on just before, a bit earlier, about the short, mid-term and long goals. Like, what have they been reevaluated now with, COVID-19 and stuff like that? Where are we heading with Eternal?
The short-term ones have been.
I couldn't understand that, mate. Say that again.
Oh, it must have been my thick Australian accent. Oh, yeah.
No, it was Cam. I couldn't understand.
Oh.
Yeah, it started raining pretty heavy here. Don't know if you're getting that noise though.
No, we're still good. So where's it, like, what's the long-term goal for Eternal at the moment, I guess? Like, where do you boys want to be in a couple of years?
Yeah, I don't know how much we want to give away, but
That's fine.
We just want to keep doing what we're doing. And you know, if we keep doing what we're doing and keep churning out 10 quality shows a year, we're going to get to where we need to get to. You know, I want to fill up the HBF Stadium. It takes 5,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, that's our goal, you know, is to start putting big numbers, become that, that show that sits above. There's another tier.
Yeah.
And then we, you know, I believe that that's the goal. Whether we get there or not, that's what we're reaching for. So
yeah,
that's the goal in terms of event size and capacities. But, you know, we're producing that much content just now, and we're still very limited in the places and the outlets that we use, and the forms of production that we currently use as well. So we'd be looking to also, we've got some plans to really increase, what would I say, like the broadcasting that we do across every type of media.
Yeah, cool. I guess kind of we're getting through the story. I don't know if we haven't missed anything, but along the way, has there been an event or a fight that's kind of stuck out to you guys that you've put on?
Mate, this is the question I dread the most about MMA. Like, what's your favourite fight? I literally watch fights all the time. And it's hard for me to be impartial because I obviously have guys fighting on that circuit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always enjoy their fights when they win.
I'm the exact same as well. I probably couldn't pull you a favourite fight. But exactly as Ben says, well, I could pull you a favourite fight, but it would be due to being, you know,
Casey's dad.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
every single one of them.
You know, there's definitely fights that stick out. You know, there's for a multitude of reasons. You know, we've got there was a couple of fights that we had at the Mansfield Tavern. And I mean, some of the individual fights rather than events. You know, there was a couple of fights there that spring to mind. We could probably tell the Dimps Gillies one. I mean, that was that's a fight that will stick with me forever. The first time we put Dimps Gillies on a card, and you know, if it was up to me, and probably Ben will back me up here as well. If I could put Dimps Gillies on every single Eternal card, I would put him on every single Eternal card. The guy is just so much fun to watch, so much fun to be around. He's so talented. He does it for all the right reasons. But that first night we put him on that show, I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. It's a fun.
I'm like I'm the duty hand wrapper. So anyone who can't wrap their hands or their coach can't wrap their hands, it's like, oh, Ben, can you wrap this guy's hands? So I get Dimps tapping me on the shoulder saying, Cam said you'd wrap my hands. And he gives me like these 2 rolls of shit tape and some shit bandages. I'm like, well, I'm not wrapping them with that because you're going to break your hands and then it's my fault. So I found some tape. I wrapped his hands and then just left him. And then about 5 minutes later, he's come out and he's gone, I forgot my shorts. Right. So now, the only person that would lend him some shorts was one of the girls that had fought in the car.
Oh, yeah.
So he had pink tie shorts, right? And Dimps was that a welterweight fight?
No, that was at middleweight. So that's when he came out and asked about the shorts. The event was well underway. It was like 2 fights away from his fight. And me and Ben are sitting cage side and he's his head between us asking for shorts. And this is the first time we've ever had him on a show. He's had like 2 amateur fights before this. You know, I'm like, what the hell have we got here? You know, and we've sent him through the back and it was a middleweight fight and back to Ben.
Oh yeah, so Dimps is like, he should be he could probably make featherweight, but he just, you know, he doesn't care. He just he jumps in. So you know, he's soft looking around the midsection. I'm sure he won't mind me saying at 84 kilos. So anyway, he comes out in these pink tie shorts and I can't remember the name of his opponent, but it looked like, an Adonis, like just. And I think he was from Integrated, so you know that he's going to be decent as well.
Jackson, was it not Dante?
I don't know who it was, mate, but he was carved straight out of concrete. Like, and I was just looking at Dimps going, oh, mate, what is going to happen to you? Like, I feel terrible.
The guy looked 3 weight classes above him.
And it proceeded to be probably fight of the night. It went the distance. It was the boys just, Dimps just is an immovable object. Like, he'll just stand there and take whatever you got and give you 3 back, you know. And I think did he lose a decision?
Yeah, Dante Jackson from Integrated Jet. He lost the decision, and I think Dante broke both his hands.
Oh fuck!
You know, he definitely broke one of them, but yeah, he broke both his hands hitting Dibs that often, and Dibs just kept smiling and going back at him twice as many as he got hit with. It was a fantastic fight to watch.
What a story!
And
then, wear the pink shorts again, or do they get put up in retirement?
So he loses the decision. And right before the fight starts, as Ben says, you know, Dimps comes walking out first. I'm thinking, yeah, you know, Dante's an amateur, first-time amateur. Dimps was only his second or third amateur fight at this time. And quite often at that level, we're just taking the coach's word for it. You know, we've got nothing to go on. We've not got a lot of footage at first and second fights. And then when Dante walks out, you know, the two of us was like, holy fuck, what have we done? What have we done here? The fight goes that well. We're both on the edge of our seat. The whole place is fucking cheering and shouting. We're sitting saying how good a fight it was as, you know, as it's just finished, and away they both hobbled out of the cage. And we turned round and there's Dimps sitting on the table, the VIP table next to the cage with 2 buckets of ice, still with his pink shorts on, with his feet in the 2 buckets of ice, no top on, his medal round about his neck, he's still got his hand wraps on, drinking bourbons.
I'm killing it.
It wasn't, couldn't even have been 5 minutes later.
That's fucking hilarious.
That's wild.
Yeah, Dimps is the man. Dimps is the man, for sure.
Oh, boys, I think we've kind of hit everything on our ends, but from a fan's perspective, for the guys listening, you know, where can they find you? Where should they be looking out for news for upcoming events and stuff like that with everything going on?
Well, I'm at home. I'm not going anywhere.
I won't give out your address.
I haven't been anywhere for weeks, so you'll find me here.
And Friday night, I can go for picnics.
What was that?
Eternal MMA.
On Friday night, I can start going for picnics, so you might find me a picnic at the park.
Cam keeps posting on Instagram pictures of him taking long walks. I'm a bit worried about him. A long walk for him was from his bedroom to the fridge. And then the fridge to the couch. Sounds like Cam's day high. So, yeah, it's worrying time all round. No, Eternal MMA across all platforms. So, Instagram. We've got a massive YouTube channel. We've got, I don't know, how many subscribers do we have on YouTube?
18,000, 19,000, something like that. But we've got 600-700 fights on there. You know, we've got highlights, promo videos, 600 or 700 fights. We've got just about every single Eternal fight since Eternal 7 or 8, and we've got a few from early on from that. Apart from obviously the pro cards from 48 onwards, they're all just available on Fight Pass.
Yeah, awesome.
Excellent.
Cool. The fans got a fair bit to watch. Boys, that's probably it from us. We appreciate your time. Obviously, it's a late up in Queensland, New South Wales. Nice time over in WA, but appreciate the time away from the family. Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
And then hopefully we'll have you boys on down the track as well once the fights are back up and running.
Yeah, we're excited. Look, we thought we wanted a break after doing 3 shows in 3 weeks, but you know what? The 4th weekend when there wasn't a show, I was devastated. Like, I love it. We love it. I just want to do it, like, all the time. I don't know why. I must be fucking insane. But.
Oh, mate, we enjoy the fights when they're on, so we're keen for them back as well.
Yeah, I love it that much that we just need to get back on the road. Yeah,
it's all gave me a bit of a reality check as well. I mean, I probably haven't worked a real job in, I don't know what, 2 years?
Fucking 20 years.
I haven't worked a real job in over 2 years, and it's probably spending 15, 16 hours a day, some days on Eternal. And I then got a real job. And the timing of the real job was I was starting it 3 days after the Eternal 52 event.
Yeah.
And I'd known that since December of last year. So, you know, I was thinking I'll still be able to do as much as I can when I'm working full time. And obviously in March of 12, when I started, there was no isolation, there was no lockdown. You know, we're still pretty free to move about, etc. But everything changed pretty quickly after that. And the timing's actually been very, very good for me. I've realised that there's absolutely no way in hell that we could carry on going at the speed and the pace that we're going at for this certain period of time while I actually am employed. But no, we're just super keen.
The key point of that, Cam, is you should have listened to me because I told you that.
Should have.
Boys.
No, we're super keen to get back into it in July. I think July is a realistic date for us.
Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed for you.
Excellent. Well, boys, thanks for your time. No worries.
We appreciate it.
We do appreciate your time.
Thanks, boys.